ready to fly.
Flight 527 ready for departure.
Get ready to fly.
Morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Jets win in overtime again, 2-1 over the Minnesota Wild. And every day is a good day when you beat the Minnesota Wild. Jets come into this game. They've won their last two games. They've only given up one goal combined in those two games. Minnesota coming in right after having a tough night the night before, losing to the Utah Hockey Club in a shootout. Utah has been on fire as of recently. I believe it was Utah. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. Just a quick disclaimer. I've been trying to keep myself a little bit more age appropriate this year in terms of the cutting down on the swearing. We have been making a concentrated effort, but if there are any parents out there, do be aware that a couple swears will occur at the 1-1 tie game reaction and the 2-1 overtime winner reaction. Just so you know that it's coming, just be aware of that. Both goals came as a very big shock to me, as you will find out. We do have live reactions. I was at this game, as you can see. A very tense game, but because it was so early in the season, I don't think people were able to grasp how intense and how kind of tight this game was. The Jets overall play great in this game. I think they have a lot of good chances. They just don't fully, they don't, so to speak, connect on them. Let's get into this quickly. First off, Jake Middleton will open the scoring on a shot that let's talk about it. Reaction here.
Shit.
What happens on this goal is I don't think Hellebuck properly picks it up, because when the puck goes to the point, the goalie has about a second to pick it up, read it, and then decide whether they want to stand on the left side of a defender or on the right side of a defender. I don't get the sense that Hellebuck fully sets his feet here or gets a very good look at it. He kind of picks up the shot late, and instead of making a concerted effort to kind of make a movement here, he just kind of throws his arm at it, and Middleton's shot is perfectly placed over the pad on the outside of the glove, gives the Wild an early 1-0 lead. A tough pill to swallow, but it happens. Would I call this Hellebuck's worst goal given up? No, I'd still say that was probably... He's only given up 2. I'd still say this is probably a more understandable goal to give up than the Ryan Donato one, because the Ryan Donato one's just a bad short side one. This one I can understand. I can see why casuals would be upset with this goal, but it happens. Hockey's a very chaotic game, and goals like this happen because of how chaotic it is. Moving on, we had a little bit of an announcement over the PA system. Mark Scheifele has participated in 800 career games, all as a Winnipeg Jet, and has now scored 300 career goals. Reaction here. That was nice. As somebody who's literally the cornerstone of the Winnipeg Jets, like, say what you want about Connor Hellebuck, but the Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built on the foundation of Mark Scheifele. And that's the most honest way I would describe the Winnipeg Jets legacy so far, is Mark Scheifele was the first ever pick, and from there it's been fantastic. But yes, the period goes along. Jets get a pretty couple good chances. I like the Jets' power play. It's just they struggled to get through that middle crease of the ice. But don't worry, they'll figure it out later on tonight. And then with about like 3 seconds left in the period, they pulled a goalie. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just going to get up, get ready to go. Oh my God, they scored! Holy fucking shit! I missed it! There's 0.7 on the clock! I wasn't ready! Neither was he! Holy shit! Mark Scheifele tattoos this puck off the face-off to score his third of the season, and the Jets' gamble in pulling the goalie with under 3 seconds left in the period pays off, and they have tied this game 1-1. A massive eruption from the crowd. And we go into the second period. The second period is... There's a lot of really good chances. However, I will say this. Chances don't mean great offense. Just because you're getting chances doesn't mean you're generating offense. It just means, like, offense is kind of happening. This team is good. This Jets team is good, but they've been plagued with underachieving top sixers and, shall we say, less than stellar offensive output. Yes, they scored a lot against Edmonton, but if you look at the underlying statistics in that game, they didn't really generate a whole hell of a lot of chances. However, in the second game, again, they didn't generate a lot until basically their goalie was pulled, and that's when it all unfolded. The second period is kind of a microcosm of that. The bottom six does a lot to create scoring chances, but none of the scoring chances end up in the back of the net, so they just sit on them, on those morals of it's a scoring chance instead of we scored off of this chance. That's a big difference. Overall, penalties made sense. There was a really funny moment where they were about to have 2 men, but the guy jumped on and off the ice quick. The linesman panicked and blew it down, and I knew that we weren't in big... I knew that something different was happening because the linesman immediately skated over to the headman instead of just... And there was like a discussion, and I was literally having this moment where I'm like, oh, you up, you up, you did, you up. And let me tell you, this happens more than you'd think. I've made this call. I once literally stopped play because I thought there was too many men on the ice, but the offensive bench was so smart, they kept their offense on, so they had 3 defense with 2 offense, and I just went, I'm wrong, face off over here, and that happens. It happens. To end the second period, though, that's how it's been. Now, what time is it? Moose Watch! Moose Watch. So, Moose Watch. Manito Moose have officially started their season, and they've started out with a bang. The Moose beat the Iowa Wild in 2 straight games, with Milic and DeVincentis getting the split. I don't remember the score of both games. One was a 3-2 win, and the other, I believe, 6-4 win. Milic's was the 6-4, Divi was the 3-2. DeVincentis stops 37 of 39 shots in his AHL debut. It's nice to see everyone get on the scoreboard, and as we kind of guessed, all those players that they signed to AHL contracts, not really any of them are actually being used. There's obviously the ones that have been around for a while, like the Bartos and the CJ Ceases of the world, but for the most part, all the other players have either been extras or they have been assigned to the Norfolk Admirals. I'm okay with that, honestly. I'm okay with them getting a couple reps, but honestly, if you're just going to cycle guys in, you just cycle one at a time, and you keep the overall core of the group together. Danny Zilkin gets a slick goal in the second game, which we will cover when we see the highlights of those 2 games. But honestly, Danny Zilkin is a guy who needs a big season here. He was a prospect I really liked a lot in junior, but I didn't get a really good sense of his play last season, and I need to see more of it this year if he's ever going to try to push for a higher spot, at least on the Moose, and beyond that. He's an amazing personality outside of the ice, but he needs to push a little more on inside the ice. That's just my take. Let's get to the highlights, though, of those games.
Well, for all 5 of my seasons here, John Schaefer, all but 1 we've opened at home, so I don't mind that. Little home cooking numbers in the National Hockey League as Chibrikov pulls to his backhand and Halavai keeps it out, but the second effort goes home. It's Dominic Toninato and a 2-1 game. Raska couldn't get to it. He gets stapled to the ice by Mark Lewinsky. These two are happy to fight, and they will. Oh, and Raska with an early right. That was a quick but venomous fight. Chibrikov back to the slick Swede Salamonson. He scores. Looks like Salamonson might get credit for it as Toninato went right out to the blue line, and indeed, that will be Elias Salamonson's first American Hockey League goal that has made it a 3-1 night. He was there, but so was Parker Ford, and now a shorthanded rush the other way. 2-on-1, Ford is in, he scores.
Wait, here's Lambert moving down the right side. Toninato going in the net, gets it to him, they score! Dominic past the defenseman and essentially turn it into a 2. Both teams will change up their groups. There's Jilkin, good speed through neutral ice, nice move into the zone, cuts around the outside with a shot, they score! Danny Jilkin, what a goal, and the Moose have a 2-1 lead! It was zone after another face-off win for the Moose. Toninato to the front of the net, quick backhander, they score! Mason Shaw, his first in Antlers.
Yeah, and honestly, it's good. I'm happy that this Moose team is finding success. I struggle with a couple of the decisions. I like Ashton Sautner, but I think a more defensemen need to get reps, I would say, just because, like, yes, I understand the Moose are a different organization than the Jets, but you also have to play those guys, like everyone. Like, give everyone a shot. We'll see. It's not a big deal after the first 2 games, but let's see how the next couple series go. But yeah, we go to the third period, a stressful period, and you know what made it also stressful? Rasmus Kupari taking a penalty with 5 minutes left in the game. You want to not do that? Like, I was getting Vietnam flashbacks when Rasmus Kupari took that penalty because I'm just going, oh my God, they're going to do the thing where they give up a late game power play goal and then they can't tie it because their offense has been sitting back waiting for overtime to start. Oh my God, no. Oh good, they killed the penalty. Basically was how it went. Hellebuyck had a really good game tonight. It was a little scrambly sometimes on a couple covers, but overall it was really good. I think they hit the Wild hit 1 post today. So that also happened as well. But anyway, near the end of the third period, Jets are getting a lot of pressure. And then who takes a penalty but former Winnipeg Jet Zach Bogosian is a silly bastard. And he holds on to Mark Scheifele's stick with 3 seconds left. You can't do that! And I was a little, I'm not going to lie, I had Minnesota Wild fans around me. So I was a little louder today. Had to let them know. I was like, that's it, get in the box. But yes, we go to overtime with the Jets still on the power play, and guess who? Kyle freaking Connor in overtime reaction here.
Get in his eyes. Start shooting, boys.
Yeah!
Overtime winner! And the Jets beat the Minnesota Wild! Okay! Let's fucking go!
And just like that, the Jets have a 3-0 start to the season. I believe this might be the first ever 3-0 start they've ever had to a season in history, which is big, honestly. And they're going to look to continue that momentum on Friday against the San Jose Sharks, which is a team they can beat. They can beat the San Jose Sharks. It'll be Connor Hellebuyck night as well, too, so that'll be special. Overall thoughts on this game. Another example of the Jets' defensive skills being better than advertised. However, you can't win every game 2-1. And so far, the Jets have won 2/3 of their games 2-1. Small sample size, but you need to have a couple games where you blow others out. You need to. You need to have games where you're able to win by scoring more than 2 goals. Like, a 6-0 win's awesome. That's not replicatable. A 2-1 win is awesome, but that's really stressful. We need to find some middle ground there. And I would love to win every game, but it's how you win games also, not just when you win them. But yeah, no, 3 stars of the game. They gave Adam Lowry the first star, as you saw in our pre-intro. That was an interesting take. Although I will say, the third line has looked spectacular. But 3 stars of the game. Whew, honorable mention is going to go to It's toughy. It's toughy. We're going to give it to Josh Morrissey. We'll give honorable mention to Josh Morrissey. 3rd star, Connor Hellebuck. 2nd star, Mark Scheifele. And 1st star, with the overtime winner, Kyle Connor. Jets now improved to a 3-0 season record, and they will face, as previously stated, the San Jose Sharks at home on Friday night for Connor Hellebuck night. Hope you guys have had a wonderful night thus far. Go Jets, go. We will keep you updated. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Go Jets, go. Have a wonderful night.
Nikolai Ehlers chips it through, gets around, and he shoots and scores! What a goal!